this morning. It's Tuesday without Bob for a little while.
Are you sure?
Well, for a little while.
Okay.
But I understand he's running down the sidewalk. Well, with coffee. So, and if we're
There's
lucky,
more cars in the back parking lot. That means some of the RAs are coming back early.
Yeah. And now if we're lucky, he won't run too fast, so there'll still be coffee in the cups when he gets here.
Don't run, Bob. Spilling coffee is a bad thing.
Especially if you spill hot coffee.
Right.
This is Jake Bagluka. Pete Coles is on the other side of the board, and Bob Plass will be here shortly. Thank you, Bob, for bringing coffee. It is, by the way,
he got a late start though because he hit that morning rush at the Double D.
Yeah, at 5:45 in the morning, there's a morning rush.
Man,
well,
teachers are starting to come back. The schools are starting to come back. Yeah. That creates a morning rush.
Is
People
it really
back from
that
vacation
time already? Are we scaring the kids into thinking school is just around the corner?
Yeah, like a week and a half. Yeah, they're back the 5th, I believe.
Wow.
Tuesday, September 5th, I believe, is their first day of school.
Well, that's okay. They can have a good time, celebrate, and enjoy. Yeah.
He was obviously listening to us on the way in. No, he was listening. He was listening to NPR.
Probably. Yeah. He does seem like an NPR sort of guy.
I am an NPR sort of guy.
See?
Only thing programmed in is radio.
I had that, what do you call it? You may not know this expression.
88.5 is the only thing on your dial.
Yeah. No. I have 89.5 as well.
It's only 10 points down for 88.5.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. No. What do they call it? Maybe you guys don't know this, but a driveway moment. You know what a driveway moment is? See, you don't listen to NPR.
You put your car into gear and didn't know where you were going?
No, well, that's me all the time.
Got to open the garage door first, Bob.
Yeah. Oh, God. I had an uncle.
That's a Tim Allen moment.
Yeah. No. I had an uncle once who bought a Honda. He really didn't know how to drive, period. And he actually went forward in the garage rather than backwards, and that was the first day. And it got worse from there. But no, I wasn't listening at the a driveway moment is when something is so good on the radio, you get to your house and you don't want to get out of the car, and you sit in the driveway and you listen to it. Now you know that's happened. Well, I don't know. Has that ever happened to you? Maybe
yes.
I'll just.
It's happened, but it's only when I'm listening to me.
No, pre-recorded. Pre-recorded.
My regular laptop is down, so I can't even give you the buzzer.
Oh my God, our laptop is down.
Yes.
Oh my God, are we on channel 15? Please.
Yes, we're on
recording.
Yes, my laptop that plays the music.
Oh my God, so I have to play.
Spare. No, I have all that stuff.
Oh, you have a spare.
But I still take care of you. I had to figure out a different way of doing it.
By the way, it should be said that it's good to have you back, Mr. Coles.
Why, thank you.
I mean, we were able to survive without you, but it's a whole lot easier where my only responsibility is to talk into the microphone.
Apparently, the only shows that were consistently live was Ken's Den, because even Bob missed a week.
Did I miss a week?
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Oh.
You didn't even notice.
Where did I go in that week? What did I do?
I don't know.
Where was I?
Was that the week that Jay couldn't make it?
Probably.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea. It was the longest line ever at Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know why people have decided today to get up at 4
because people
o'clock.
are back from vacation.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
No. Yeah, but even during the year, I am the only one there.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, apparently. And of course,
somebody took down the sign that said,
"How are the girls this morning?"
Well, that resting bee-faced woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one you made peace with.
Yeah, I love her. She's probably home taking care of her kids. She hasn't been there for the last 3 or 4 times, so I think she's been put elsewhere.
Or she moved on to a better job.
Probably. I don't know. Well, I don't know if there's any better job than serving people like me.
I'm sure there's plenty of better jobs than that, Bob.
If everyone could see the looks we just gave,
appreciative
Bob.
Customers like Bob.
Yeah, appreciative, very appreciative.
Hey,
by the way, before you get deep in your coffee, do you have your song list for me so I can play all that stuff?
It's on the I
got to go print it out.
You have to print it out, my friend.
Thank you.
Or it's on your laptop.
Yeah. No.
All right, I'll work on that.
All right.
While you're figuring that out, tomorrow on WSKB 89.5, Wake Up Wednesday with Tina Gorman will feature August and Family Fun Month in her first hour. They'll discuss all kinds of low-cost and creative ways to celebrate Family Fun Month in August. And we'll also highlight birthdays and upcoming events, as Tina always does on Wednesday morning.
Does she celebrate birthdays like that Willard Scott does? That
No,
she gives
she
names
does famous
to people.
birthday.
Oh, famous birthdays.
Famous birthdays.
Oh, I do that sometimes.
Your birthday and my birthday aren't on there. We're not famous enough.
They could be if we knew about it.
Yeah, it's
Well, I
true.
suppose.
Yes, yeah.
I
I'll tell you, believe me.
And in her second hour, Mary Lou Nadelsky. Is it
Nadelsky.
Nadelsky? Yeah.
Nadelsky.
Yeah,
Get that in.
They put a Z in there that messes me up all the time. So, sorry, Mary Lou, and I should know better. She's the program director at Westfield Council on Aging, and they're going to discuss the plethora of upcoming programs at the Senior Center this fall. She really did.
Okay.
It always sounds like the opposite of the word. Plethora to me sounds like there's not enough. Even, for some reason. I've always gotten plethora confused. What's the word beginning with D that means a dearth? A dearth and a plethora. What's
They don't
a dearth?
sound alike.
What is a dearth? Is a dearth the opposite of plethora?
I don't know.
D-E-A-R-T.
I've heard of the word.
Dearth is a combination of dirt and earth. I don't know. No.
Oh, I got to look it up.
There's a lot going on anyway this fall down at the Senior Center, so have a pen and paper handy. You're going to need it. Also happening this weekend, Friday and Saturday night, big doings downtown with Food Fest. The Rotary's Food Fest is coming back to town. Lots of music. I'm going to be down there helping out on one of the stages. There's a lot. There's just all kinds of food, music,
I saw the
arts.
Tinkers were, I guess, emailed me to say
Tinkering
that they
around.
going to be down there,
Yes.
that Irish group,
Yes.
and I think they've got other music groups on 2 stages, right?
Right. We actually there's at least 2 stages, and I'm all confused. So look, you'll find more in the Westfield News this week, I'm sure. All about Food Fest here in downtown.
And that's
Westfield
done by the Rotary Club. Of
By the
Westfield.
Rotary, yes.
Yeah. Very good. Very, very good. And, of course, I think is Sunday night, is there a concert in Stanley Park, I think, on Sunday night?
I think they wrapped up for this season.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
And how about Amelia Park tonight on Tuesday? I think we ordinarily have concerts there. Oh, no, and also karaoke on the green if it's not...
Karaoke?
Oh, there's that Wednesday night.
Karaoke?
Not karaoke. What do you open mic?
Open mic night at the Green.
The open mic night.
Open mic is way different.
Way different.
Way different.
These are good people who know how to sing.
Whereas
about me coming up and doing my version of "I Gotta Be Me" by
is that your
Frank
go-to?
Sinatra.
Is that your go-to?
Well, it's one of
song?
them. It's one of them.
Pete, what's your go-to karaoke song? Do you have one?
Love Shack by the B-52s.
Really?
Yes.
Love Shack. Wait a minute. Love Shack hasn't any words. Does
Yes,
it?
it does.
What are the words to Love Shack? Love Shack. Love Shack. Love Shack. Isn't
Hop
it?
in my Chrysler. I'm as big as a whale, and I'm about to set sail. You got to do it just like him.
But do you go up with the big beehive hairdos and
I
everything?
wish. That'd be pretty cool.
Unbelievable. Jay, what's yours go-to?
Since nobody ever wanted to hear me sing anything, I don't do karaoke.
You were in a singing group. You were in that Up With People or Down with Music.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but I never maintained the voice. So
come on, you got a great speaking voice. We know that you must have a great singing voice. Are you a baritone, tenor?
Have you ever heard me speak off key?
Depends what you think.
Only if you're Melanie.
Off key.
Have you ever heard me speak off key? No, I saved that for my singing. So you don't want to hear me sing.
My singing has gotten better over the years. I got to admit. I took singing lessons for about 25 years of my life, both in New York City and here in Agawam with Margaret Hill Sarno, who taught all those people. She was the woman that ran the carolers at Christmas at the fort for years, and she was like a friend of mine as well as a singing teacher. And she never could explain to me how to get air into my lungs. And there was a real problem about getting air into my lungs and breathing from my diaphragm. You know,
there's a really good line in there somewhere. So you haven't been breathing all these years, right?
Well,
Okay.
she's always said that she always used to tell me, God rest her soul, that she would that most people don't talk or breathe on the breath, on the with breathing behind you, and you can feel it in your back against the chair. Apparently,
Well, when you're singing, timing is the timing of taking that breath is key. Because
When
there's
you
nothing
take the
worse
breath.
nothing worse than running out of air before you get to the end of the line.
Oh no! Oh, it's exactly right. And that was one of the things that a singing teacher teaches you when you're looking at a song: when to take the breath and when to take the next breath. Now, Frank Sinatra had a specific way of taking breaths. Did you know that?
Well, that would make sense because he had a very unique way of singing. Yeah,
That's right. He invented singing sentences. So if there is a capital letter at the beginning of a sentence, which there should be, and a period at the end.
There's the English teacher.
Okay,
speaking,
right.
yes.
Okay, the capital letter to the period, you breathed all the way down right into the period. So you did not. You did not do the
One line at a time.
One
which
line
may
at a
not
time.
be
Yeah,
a full
yeah,
sentence.
yeah.
I can't remember what's the stanza.
Yeah.
I can't remember the
Yeah.
term.
Round like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning on an ever spinning wheel, like a tunnel down a mountain through a carnival balloon. Oh,
I heard you breathe.
I breathe.
You breathe.
Yeah. The period comes much too late in that sentence. You gotta. It's sort of like Aretha Franklin, whose breathing ability was beyond. I don't know anybody who really sang with the great breathing power that she did.
I have one of those on my
lungs were
front door every Christmas.
What is that?
Aretha.
Oh
Sorry.
my God. Oh, Aretha Franklin. Oh, my God. You didn't tell that last week when we were still mourning. I'm still mourning.
Why? Too soon? No, sorry. It's a very old joke, and nobody around my house likes it anymore. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I don't get it either.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no. All right, so go ahead. What were you saying?
No, it was Aretha Franklin was just a voice that was unique and wonderful, and she'll always be there. She'll always be out there. So
she will always be out there. And the more I listen to her, she really is that voice of the century, voice of America, voice of women, the voice that we all would probably do well to listen to, both as singers and as citizens and as women and as men. It's amazing. It's a voice that reaches your soul in more ways than one. And when I was preparing the music for the show, I was thinking, oh, am I going to do like everybody and just play one Aretha Franklin song after another? And then I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do that, but I am going to maybe play more than I usually do of one person, because I continually get moved by hearing her voice. It touches my soul.
Wasn't she in, speaking of soul, she in the Blues Brothers?
She was, and in fact,
she had the little diner and sang Think. That was the song.
And Freedom. Is that the same song?
Well, same song.
Oh, it is the same song.
Yes, she and her and in the movie husband Matt Guitar Murphy they ran the little diner in Chicago, and then Blue Lou Marini was the saxophone player up on the counter. And I just saw Blue Lou down in Washington D.C. when I saw James Taylor. He still plays with James Taylor.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, well, I was noticing when they were doing the clips of that movie on television that her backup group were the same women that were appearing on television.
In the movie,
but she did that, reignited her career, because she wasn't selling records for a goodly number of years, and she did that movie, and by appearing in that movie, that
it just took off.
fast tracked her again.
Well, a whole new generation discovered her. He says, "Holy cow, that's great!"
Oh my God, yes, absolutely. And you know that she was from the North Detroit area, North Detroit.
After she passed away at home in Detroit.
Yeah, and in that very small neighborhood, there were a lot of people. Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson, who she knew since she was 3 years old. I mean, you probably saw Smokey Robinson if you were watching CNN this week. He was on CNN most of the time. I don't know if you appear on any of those other networks.
I haven't watched TV in a long time.
No. All right, so Smokey Robinson is her neighbor, okay? And they grew up together since they were kids. They were on Soul Train, that wonderful show with that really, talk about a deep
Cornelius,
Don
right?
Cornelius.
Don Cornelius. Well, Don Cornelius.
Soul Train.
Oh my God, so low. But I decided I saw this track being played on, I think, Anderson Cooper last week or something, and I thought, I love this because it's not an Aretha Franklin song, it's a Smokey Robinson song. It shows her ability. She plays the piano in this. Her piano playing was just as good as her singing. She really knew how to play the piano, and so this.
Well, Buster played a song with George Michael and Aretha, that hit she had in the 90s.
Oh, just terrific.
Yeah.
But this is a very calm version of Ooh, Ooh, Baby. Now, is the title Ooh, Baby? Oh, no, it's Ooh, Baby, Baby. That's the name of the song.
All right, I'll believe it.
Do you know Ooh, Ooh Baby?
Bob,
Baby?
some people just shouldn't recite lyrics.
Ooh,
sorry.
Wait, you're gonna go. Ooh,
No.
baby. But look at how listen to this great voice, and she's joined, of course, by Smokey, her neighbor, and there's a little banter in between. Here you go.
I'm telling you, it's not too late.
I did you wrong.
Yeah.
My heart went out to play, but in the game I lost you. What a price to pay. I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. Baby, baby,
Mistakes. I know I made a few, but I'm only human. You made mistakes too.
WSKB's programming is generously underwritten by Whip City Fiber, Westfield Gas and Electric, where they offer gigabit internet speed. Whip City Fiber, turning Westfield's neighborhoods into fiber hoods. On the web at whipcityfiber.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Discussions of local politics, events, happenings, and miscellany potpourri. That's what you'll find on Ken's Den, Tuesdays from 8 till 10.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. It is August 21st, 2018 and counting, and I am here. I was late this morning. It was a...
No, we got you covered.
I didn't even know where I was. I wrote you a little thing saying it's a long line at the Big Y. Did you read that?
Yes, I got it, but I figured out what was...
Now you were at the Big Y?
No, I wasn't.
Now, wait a minute. You're changing your story. First,
let me go get the printout so I can follow along with this craziness.
Now he's at the Big Y. Where were you really, Bob?
I was at Dunkin' Donuts.
I hope he's at Dunkin' Donuts, otherwise he stole their cups.
No, that's true. That's true. When you're in the where do you go to the same coffee place every day?
No. All right. I take that back. Usually because I just go to the same counter in my kitchen.
I see. But you're one of these people that carries your coffee wherever you go, in a thermos or something?
No.
Well,
I wake up at 3 in the morning, make coffee, and then I sit and sip that coffee while I'm working. I never leave home. Well, that's not necessarily true.
No, that's true. You're here.
Yeah. No, most mornings I'll do work at home, from 3 till 6 or 7, and unless I'm heading up, a long way away. If I got to do a road trip, a day-long road trip, then I'm out the door. But when I'm out the door, where do I get coffee? The first place that's open. So, I might be going east, west, north, south. It doesn't.
But you don't usually drink coffee during the day after you wake up, or you drink
Sometimes.
Do you drink to a certain point? Because I have to have tea in the afternoon. I could not have coffee in the afternoon.
I drink coffee until I start drinking alcohol.
That didn't come out right. What time is that?
That didn't come out right.
Yeah, really. 10 a.m. Oh, it's got to be 10.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
It's got to be last call somewhere.
Hopefully it's not last call. Speaking of drinking alcohol, not that that's the only thing that we should be doing or thinking about, but the Westfield Rotary is putting together one of their biggest fundraisers of the year, Food Fest downtown this weekend, Friday and Saturday, and things get started around, I think, 6 o'clock Friday night, and then they fire back up again at noon on Saturday. And a band that I've been looking forward to seeing, it's a Tom Petty tribute band, and they're all from the area here in Western Massachusetts. Really? They're called The Losers.
Is that named after a song by?
Yeah, it's one of the songs. It's a partial after one of the songs. But they're called The Losers. Yeah. Yes, and they're pretty good. I think everyone that comes out to see them will be pleasantly surprised. That starts at noon on Saturday downtown on the North Stage.
On the North Stage, which is at Franklin Street.
Yes.
Yeah. I know it well because that northern part there is the part that when you're a festival producer, we're closing the street for Pumpkin Fest, as you know. The northern part, when you look down from Franklin to School Street, it's a kind of long area, and where you get to Arnold Street there's this kind of, like, I'm not going to call it, it's not a wasteland at all, because there's Skyline Diner and whatever and all of that sort of stuff, or Skyline
Trading company.
Skyline Diner was where I used to go in New York City on 8th Avenue, way down at 23rd. Skyline at 23rd.
Oh, I'm thinking Stardust.
Yeah, Stardust. Oh,
that was a different one.
No,
yes.
yeah, different.
I had my cousin's daughter was one of the singers there for many, many years.
Oh, so the Ellen Stardust Diner on Broadway.
Yep.
Where all the Glee folk go. There was a show on Glee. Leah on Glee.
It's where everybody goes and hopes to work so that they can be discovered in New York City. And my cousin's kid was never discovered.
Oh, she would never.
No, she's still living down there, but she never got the big break she was hoping for.
Oh, God. You know what? She ought to try Don't Tell Mama on 46th Street. Do you know Don't Tell Mama? There's a song from Cabaret called, You Can See My Mother. Don't come in
tell
here.
her I'm singing
Don't
there. Yeah,
tell Mama where I am, or something like that. So Don't Tell Mama is on 46th Street and on Restaurant Row there, and they have cabaret and they have a piano bar, and the waiters get up and they sing, and it was a small place that theater people knew, and we would go. And then now it's been taken over totally by tourists. And but it's okay. It's all right.
Tourists are what keep businesses alive.
You're damn to it. If you say, "Oh God, those
it's a tourist trap."
Oh, it's a tourist trap.
You know what? Where I discovered my first tourist trap. This goes back a long time ago. First time I ever went to Niagara Falls, and this is when I discovered what a tourist trap was. And I was actually
Did you go to that dinosaur place? That's a tourist trap.
It was. Well, I was actually driving a truck at the time, back in the 70s, and I had a gig up that way. I had a delivery way up in Buffalo. And I said, Jesus, I'm this close. I got to go see what the falls are like, right? So it was easy to cross the border then. I mean, here I am in a truck. I just drove right across.
Sure.
And I went into, like, there's the Wax Museum, there's Ripley's Believe It or Not, and that's what I said, well, I got to do this. I'm here. I see the falls. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I got to go in one of these things and see what it's like. And that's where you realize that you go through the attraction, and coming out of the attraction, every one of them end up in the gift shop.
Always.
And that's when I realized what the definition of a tourist trap was. Because as soon as that whole section across the border in Canada, that's just a glitzy tourist trap.
Oh my gosh.
But it's fun.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's to the point that it's fun, it's funny, and you got to experience it.
Oh yeah. And do you really, I think wax museums, wherever they are tourist traps, right? But I mean, I don't get wax museums, quite honestly.
That's just because you haven't seen you yet.
Oh, me in a wax? No.
Oh, you have to be dead first. No, you
don't. You really don't.
This is a very. I had, we have glossies as our glossy. You know what a glossy is for a headshot. Yeah, okay. So I had glossies taken while I was in New York City, and so I'm going through. Or no, this was sent to me. My cousin said, "You won't believe this, but you're in an advertisement." And
somebody stole the headshot.
What they did was they took my headshot and they penciled. They did a drawing of me, which was me, totally me, and it was. I was holding up something. It was like a cartoon of a man holding up something, and it was me. And
did you sue?
Well, no, I suppose did I sue?
It's your likeness.
You needed an agent to go after that.
It's like that time I was on the beach in Puerto Escondido, Mexico. I was on the beach in Puerto Escondido. You know Puerto Escondido?
I can't even say that.
Yeah. Hidden port. And I was on the beach, and I saw this television crew, and they were filming there. And I was lying on the beach, and I said, I'm going to go down and talk to them. So I went down.
You were trying to do an early photo bomb.
Yeah, no, I really probably was. And the guy said to me, hey, would you like to do an interview? We're doing just a segment for a the Today program on Puerto Escondido, on travel. And so at the time, I wasn't wearing a shirt, shirtless, and I was I was so undeveloped and so thin. No, I was just the opposite. I looked so...
Oh, you were the before guy.
I was the before guy on the beach in Mexico, talking about... So I signed a waiver, that said you can use this on the television and the Today program. So it was on the Today Show. Then it turns out that they use it. It was this whole section on one of those come-to-buy travel sites or something.
Yeah.
And for years they used that. Yes. Oh, there, little Mexican music in the back. Yeah, really. Yeah. Hey, come to...
Just to put you in the mood.
Puerto Escondido. It has one street. You come down, you have one phone. You're away from civilization. Now it's changed.
What are you, waiting for residuals here?
Yeah. So I'm there talking. This thing appeared time, and it was kind of like KTEL, or what do you call it? That Ron thing.
Ron
it appeared
Popeil.
over and
You're
over.
on an infomercial.
Yeah.
Ronco.
It appeared over and over again, and somebody said, you could sue. And I said, I was on the beach and I signed a waiver, but I probably didn't read the
fine print. Yeah, somebody can use it for whatever they want.
Yeah. So I put it on my resume.
Hey, it's worth something. Yeah.
It's exactly. Hey, 6:36 in the morning. Wait, what do we got there, Peter? I've got a... I
don't know. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, I believe.
Yeah.
The printer doesn't work.
Oh, yeah. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
You need to put in a ticket for that.
Oh, my. Oh, God. Yes, yeah.
I'll do that during the break.
Yeah. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I'm watching that great, there's a documentary series called 40 by 4. 50 by 4. 50, must have had 50 hits by 4 people. And explained this. Jay, you maybe didn't know, but Neil Young and who was in the group with him before in Buffalo Springfield? Was it Stephen Stills? He and Stephen Stills were in Buffalo Springfield. Stop, look, turn around. And they argued all the time, and that actually broke the troop up. Well, after the first Crosby, Stills, Nash album, Crosby, Stills, and Nash decided that they needed an electrical sound to themselves. Yeah. And who were they going to hire? And they hire Greg Reeves and a hired a drummer. 2 other guys, but they needed one other guy. And finally, after they talked to Eric Clapton turns them down. They talked to another very famous guy, I can't remember. But then they came back to Neil Young, who had played with Stephen Stills in Buffalo Springfield. So thinking, and somebody said to him, "What are you doing? You argue with him all the time. What are you kidding?" And they said he said, "No, for the music, I'm going to do this, and we'll work it out. We'll be fine."
Just because you argue doesn't mean you can't put something good together.
Right.
Yeah. You and I are a perfect example of that, my friend.
We never argue.
Oh no.
We have knockdown, drag out fights.
Oh yeah.
But we never argue.
That's right. Say it right, Peter.
Sure.
Oh yeah. All right. So at any rate. So they hire him. And they've already done their Crosby, Stills, Nash, the classic first album. And now their second album appears, and it's Deja Vu. And they're
which is my favorite. That's absolutely hands down favorite.
Oh, yeah, my favorite as well. And so they are working on Deja Vu. Damn if they don't start arguing. Damn if they're not really arguing and arguing about who gets the lead, who makes the song, what do we focus on here? Do we focus on the singer? Do we focus on the music? Do we focus on the electronics? Total arguments, okay? Now, that beautiful album is filled with great songs. They had never appeared on a stage. Get this is really interesting. The day before Woodstock was the first time that Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young appeared together on a stage.
Mm-hmm.
First time was the day before Woodstock. They get to Woodstock, and they get there, and their instruments are not there. are not there at all.
Yeah, Woodstock was one of those legendary things that if something could have gone wrong, it did. That was worse than Murphy's Law. Things that could have gone right went wrong. It's just
you're so everything that was going wrong, and they're on at 3 a.m. in the morning. All the mud and everything.
Sure, yeah.
All on at 3 a.m. in the morning. Now, they are finally... Oh, Jimi Hendrix says, you can use all of my stuff. We got everything you need. So Jimi Hendrix gives them the stuff to go on and play their song at a Deja. Now, if you listen to it, and the movie and stuff, we'll probably we're not going to listen to it today, but when you see the movie, recognize that they thought it was one of their worst performances ever, and it didn't really matter because I think the crowd had other things on their mind at 3 a.m.
3 in the morning?
3 in the morning. They were still with them, and
they were 420 friendly.
Yeah, but yeah, 420.
Anyways,
oh God.
But we digress.
So at any rate, they appear and they sing their song, and that kind of that ignites their career as Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and they're still fighting. They're still fighting. So I thought I'd play Woodstock for you at 6:41 in the morning. Hey, it's going to be in the late 70s or the high 70s, the late 70s.
Bob, just go to the song. We'll talk about it.
That's me. I'm in the early 70s, but late 70s is coming up soon. At any rate, hey, here's Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Woodstock.
Paul, the child of God, he was walking along the road, and I asked him, tell me, where are you going? Mister told me, said I'm going down to Yesterday's farm, gonna join in a rock and roll band. Got to get back to the land, said my soul. We are stars, we are golden, we are golden, and we got to get ourselves back to the garden. Well, then can I wrong decided I have come to lose my smile, and I feel myself something turning, and maybe it's the time of year. Yes, it's the time of man, and I don't know who I am, but life is for learning. We are stars, we are golden, we are golden, and we got to get ourselves back to the garden. We are stars, we are golden, we are golden. And we got to get ourselves back to the garden. By the time we got to Woodstock, we were heaven strong, and everywhere was the sun and a celebration. And I dreamed I saw the bomb and death flames riding shotgun in the sky, turning into butterflies above our nation. We are stars, we are golden, we are calling each other's party, and we got to get ourselves back to the garden.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday
Boy,
morning.
he's good. By the time you get to the first half hour, he's finally starting to get the
Woken up.
steam up. He's had his half a coffee, and you point to him, and he's
Do you
going,
like-
"Wow, it's Tuesday."
You like when I use the command voice? 2, 1.
That's because you've been
he's
hanging
still
around
talking.
the rocket launches too
Welcome
much.
back, Peter. Welcome back. I didn't welcome you back. I was too busy trying to be
Kibitzing.
on time. Kibitzing.
Is that
there.
what we were doing, kibitzing?
Yes.
Yeah.
We
No.
were talking about concert
Anchor
ideas.
chat.
Yes.
Yeah. Anchor chat is a really good way of looking at it. It's
Anchor chat?
yeah. It's
Just
sort of like
dragging me to the bottom of the ocean.
It's sort of like kitty litter.
Oh!
Doesn't it sound the same? Anchor
You're
chat.
so
and
lucky
kitty-
I don't have the sound effects this morning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because it'd be rife with...
Yeah. But do you notice? I have.
By the way, Danny Nason says you need to pay off something about Elm Street and something out in front of a store in Elm Street. You talked about it while I was out of the room.
So, wait a minute. Tell me. Something.
Oh, Danny Nason said...
Is Skyline in front of Skyline Trading Company?
Yes, that one, yes.
Yeah. Is having something outside of Skyline Trading?
Yeah, they want to do seating out front.
Oh, yeah. We've got. I think has the ordinance passed totally or not?
I don't know.
I saw something in the paper, but I don't know if it's. I mean, everybody's for it. It's just I don't know that it's passed the official. The vote.
To make this town like most towns, like New York City, like
Wait a minute. Most towns aren't like New York City, and most
you're
towns
right.
are glad they're not
New
like
York
New York
City!
Yeah, no, stop. You're right. Sit outside and
That's Paris.
yeah,
now, you want
Paris
to talk
is
about
it.
sit outside restaurants, you talk about Paris.
You know, Paris has got it right, and in fact, maybe Westfield could do this. You know, Peter, when
You should have gone to the Legislative Ordinance Committee meetings and help them write the ordinance.
Here's what they do in Paris. You know how they, when you think of tables in front of a building or on the street,
Yeah.
you think of people sitting on four sides of a table, okay? In Paris, they have, it looks as if you were the board of directors of something, or you're on What's My Line or somewhere. There are these long tables, long tables with chairs behind them that look out, and they're not, you sit staring out
Like
at
a bar.
Yeah, like a bar.
So you can watch the world go by.
Watch the world go by.
Yeah.
And it is not, unlike some areas in on the over near Notre Dame, where you sit there and you don't have anybody sitting in front of you, so that you can watch the street, which is a really good way to sort of.
America
see the
doesn't know how
world.
to do that, Bob.
Well, in France, do you don't think? Well, in New York
I've never
City,
been outside of this country except for Mexico.
Oh, man. Oh, you've been to Mexico, just across the border, or have you been down into the
Been
deep
on a cruise,
waters?
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, then you know Mexico, but Mexico doesn't have
The great thing for those bump outs that they have, you can put tables on them.
on the bump outs.
Yeah.
I think that they're talking. I wish the ordinance would allow restaurants to go in front of the buildings next to them, even if they're a dry cleaner and there's a restaurant next to you and you're out in front of the dry cleaner.
Again, you should have shown up at the Legislative Ordinance Committee with all these great ideas.
I can't.
Where
be
were
there.
you, Bob?
Where was I?
But what if the dry cleaner needed extra room and they could bring folding tables out front?
Hey, speaking of extra room folding tables, I was in the Bonton. I was grieving in the Bonton this week.
Oh yeah,
grieving in the Bonton. It sounds like a song. Have you been to the Bonton?
sounds like a nice novel, Bob.
It's closing
not since,
this week.
Yeah, not since they started
Have you
cleaning it.
bought any furniture fixtures?
Well, that's it, Jay. You got to go in there because there are these
Merchandising units for the shop?
Big three-tiered platforms that are really great, that would work. They're on wheels, but they're hell of a heaviness. What do they call that? They have weight to them.
Yes,
And
they're
so
sturdy.
Yeah, sturdy. But they're
Sturdy, Bob.
They also have what do you call it? I was in line with somebody who said, "Oh, I just bought a thing to hang my clothes on." What do you call those things?
Railings. A rack, okay.
A coat rack. And, they have coat racks and everything. What a sad situation to go into a store that was always the place to
And
go
see the
to
last-
store.
yeah, see the last
and it's
stuff
going
coming out,
out of
yeah.
business. Oh my God, it's going. And it's going out of business across the country. Jessica, the diva
You gotta tighten
of
up
the
your screws
bookstore.
there.
Yeah, Jessica, just tighten that thing up right there. Jessica Martin is here. She is
Good
coming
morning,
and
Jessica.
making our day so wonderful.
Good morning.
Morning. You smell good. You look
Thank
beautiful.
you.
You look rested.
Thank you.
How's the jet lag?
No jet lag. I didn't take a plane, so.
What do you
I'm
mean?
okay.
Where did
We only went to Maine.
you don't have jet lag?
That's
You don't have
another
jet
country,
lag
by
when
the
you go to
way.
Maine.
No, north
Yeah.
to south.
There
you
was
don't.
no time change
that's
that
the
I
same time
noticed.
zone,
Yeah,
yeah.
same time zone.
It may
same-
seem like a galaxy far, far away.
Yes.
Yeah, give me a little kiss here. Well,
got
yeah.
it.
Oh, jeez.
Jealous.
I was hoping you'd
See you
ask.
guys. Hey, welcome back.
Thank you.
But have you been in the Bonton since it's been closed?
I have to admit that I've never been in the Bonton in my life.
Me neither.
I'm not
No.
much of a
I enjoy
shopper.
that.
I don't. I'm not
Have you never been, Peter, in
No.
the Bonton?
No.
What? You've been in the Bonton.
Yeah, my wife dragged me in.
But it's a department store, right? Like
It's
a little bit of
department.
everything.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. It was a great
Mostly
department
clothes
store.
and home goods
Yeah,
and things. Yeah.
it was it's sort of a step, just a step below Macy's. It's sort of like Kohl's or Peebles or something. What is that? We're having some kind
Some
of
emergency broadcast
yeah.
alert. Yeah.
We're testing.
Oh, the emergency broadcast alert.
Yeah, they still heard you on Channel 15, though.
Oh, okay. We don't have to do anything under. Do
Those
I have to
are
get under
automatic.
the desk or something?
No, Bob, it was just a test.
Oh,
Go on, yeah,
This
like
was
the
a test
turtle.
of the emergency alert system, actually.
Yeah, what happened to the emergency broadcast?
It was replaced by the emergency alert system.
But I like the broadcast system.
No, it's not just broadcast, so.
no,
See,
that
we
remember-
used- now, back in the old bootleg radio station days, we not that I had anything to do with that.
Right, the statute of limitations is run out.
Okay,
Jeff.
yeah, we used to call it the emergency harassment system, and we had our own version.
Duck and cover.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
it was generally duck, have a beer, and pray.
Yeah.
Right.
So the emergency broadcast system really scares the hell out of me now, because you're sitting there watching a show and then it comes that they used to have something else, but I mean that it comes on blaring. I mean, no.
That's what it's supposed to do, Bob. It's supposed to grab your attention.
Yeah.
All I need to I didn't watch the news while I was in Florida. I barely watched any TV. I says, well, if Trump screws up things too badly, I'll see the flash and then I'll be over.
Yeah, there you go. On the other hand, over the weekend we had the thunderstorms and the downpours come through.
Yeah, and
right?
I saw those. We had there was one day where we had a tornado alert. I saw
Right.
it pass through the
right.
system.
But we have
so
had
the rain it dumps rain. Right, the rain has finally gone away. The sun's coming out. My phone goes off and says flood warning.
Yeah, because now
it's too late.
You know, it's because you're dealing with the aftermath of it. The river's been pretty high.
Yeah. And flash floods just appear out of nowhere. You're walking along the street, and then suddenly you're swept up. Is that what
That's
happens?
why they call it
They
like
can,
a tsunami.
yes.
So like a tsunami.
Not like
or
a
something?
tsunami,
No,
but no.
tsunami's different.
A miniature tsunami.
A miniature. Have you ever been in a flash flood, Jessica?
I have not ever been in a flash flood, but I feel like water is my curse in life. So I've had like a lot of times where the basement has flash flooded on me in heavy rains and like things like that, but not in an actual weather event outside or anything.
I've covered drain blocks in Holyoke where under the railroad overpasses flood out, and some idiot tries to drive through them, and you shoot the nice picture of the car in the water.
Oh, where does that happen here in Westfield? Bottom of East Mountain Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
floods out
that's
pretty regularly.
very, very true. Well, and speaking of that, tomorrow there is going to be another day of lots of rain, apparently.
Well, fair enough.
Or thunderstorms that happen, and then the sun comes out, and then we dry out, and then
we had one storm down at Pineapple Park that literally set up shop, opened up over the ballpark, and didn't stop for 3 hours. It just sat there and rained
really heavily.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
3 hours.
Yeah,
we had to cancel play for the day.
I'm looking at the trees outside. In fact, on my walk yesterday.
It's green. I saw it from the air. It's green out there.
Oh, it is really green. But
August.
you know how you get a plant in your house and you water it too much, and the water, I mean, these leaves become kind of like they don't know what to do with the excess. They're just like flopping all over the place and stuff. The trees on Broad Street where I walk look like that. They look like the plants in my house.
Oversaturated. Will you stop overwatering your plants?
I can't. God is watering the plants. The Mother Nature
outside
in your house.
Gotcha.
Huh?
I thought you meant your house plants, but if
no,
they're outside.
there are the outside trees are overwatered. The bushes are overwatered. My poor rhubarb has seen its best days, I think, because
my favorite reference to rhubarb is bebop, rebop, rhubarb pie.
Bebop, rebop.
What?
That's on PBS.
Yeah, well,
Jay.
It used to be. That was Prairie Home Companion.
Prairie Home
that was
Companion. Garrison Keillor has gone the way of the Me Too movement. And Prairie Home
by the way, did you see that story? I happened to watch the news this morning.
No,
but one of the biggest vocal females of the Me Too movement now has got caught with her pants down.
Yes,
so to speak.
Yeah, but we want to celebrate that because the Me Too movement.
Guess what? It caught up with her, and I think that's good.
Well, I think
don't be a hypocrite.
Don't be a hypocrite, but also recognize the fact that it happens both ways.
Oh yeah,
I mean, but male to female.
Abuse happens both ways. Yes.
And it happens both ways, and oftentimes. But again, you go through this thing that sort of says.
It's no different, Bob.
What is going on?
Power. People think they can get away with anything. That's what I'm telling you. That's why I've been trying to tell you for the past couple of years, Bob.
What is it?
We have a culture that's a free-for-all nowadays, and it's not a good thing.
It's really not a good thing,
right?
And I'm so sad. I've been dealing with this Catholic Church crisis.
I like the Pope came out and finally talked about it.
You were dealing with it directly?
Well, yes.
Sort of.
Are you handling that business?
Bob's special advisor to the Vatican.
Official crusade.
Yeah, I am meeting with the church hierarchy and just
I want to see that meeting. I want to be a fly on the wall for the bishop meeting.
It might do them some good to take advice from you. I don't know.
Well, I could probably do some of it. Yes. Yeah.
That would be fun.
Would you like...
I definitely want to be a fly on the wall for that meeting. Bob's audience with the Pope.
Well, when I was in, one of my terrible thoughts about my childhood was going to a confessional and having the priest ask in the confessional some very inappropriate things. So,
that was just talking.
And I didn't know. Oh yeah, I know.
He's not reaching through the window.
But then
was
he was later accused, but he died before he was punished. And
if the Catholic Church is anything, I'm guessing after he died, he was punished.
Oh, exactly.
Right.
Oh, let's hope. But oh my God, trying to reconcile. Yeah, we're laughing. But,
we need a break, Bob.
It's serious. No, it is very serious.
The truth of the matter is, for me, I'll just make this statement that when your institutions that you think are there for you are not there for you, you're not grounded. And we all need to be grounded. We all need, And I really think. What I've got? Do I have Aretha Franklin? That great voice of
Neil Young.
No, I've got Neil Young batted up. Neil Young's voice on this is so cute. It's pure, and I'm listening to this great song, and all of a sudden it says something about shooting his girlfriend down by the river. It's a Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song. Do you know that?
I do.
Yeah. But at this festival, I think it was Mercy or something. The Mersey. It begins with F. festival. He sang it in an acoustical version, and it is so incredible. And I thought, I'm going to play this, but to sort of connect things, even in those beautiful things that, like this beautiful song, this beautiful melody, there's something that I have to deal with. There's something, and I was thinking, God, do I play this song? It talks about him shooting his girlfriend in this, in this time, and I that's where I am in life today, trying to reconcile and to balance the truth and the reality and the reality. And I don't know. But so at any rate, it's 7 o'clock, everybody. I'm going to play the Neil Young song.
WSKB Westfield.
Yeah. This is Down by the River, an acoustic version, live. You can get this on Google or YouTube. It's worth hearing.
Be on my side, I'll be on your side. There is no reason for you to hide. It's so hard for me staying here all alone when you could be taking me for a ride. She could drag me over the rainbow and send me away down by the river. I shot my baby down by the river. You take my hand, I'll take your hand. Together we may get away. This much madness is too much sorrow. It's impossible to make it today. She could drag me over the rainbow and send me away down by the river. I shot my baby down by the river. Be on my side, I'll be on your side. There is no reason for you to hide. It's so hard for me staying here all alone when you could be taking me for a ride.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham. as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Thursday morning from 6 till 8, it's Patrick Berry, owner of the Westfield News Group,
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Jessica Martin. I'm Bob Plass, and we're here with the kitten of the keys. Yeah, who's back from vacation.
Wow, wait a
Peter
minute. I like
Coles.
the other reference. It's kitty litter. Now he's kitty litter.
Kitty litter.
That's Chairman Meow to you, GP.
Chairman Litter.
Sounds like a drag queen, doesn't it? Kitty litter. There must be a drag queen named
That
Kitty Litter.
would be a good name,
wouldn't it?
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Or it's stripper.
You know what? If you start calling me kitty litter, I quit.
I'm not calling you Kitty
Thank
Litter. No. And Jay Pagluka was the one that came up with that, and he is trusty sidekick. But
Did not. You said
I can
kitty
shut off
litter
his
for-
microphone.
So at any rate, everybody, it is August 21st, 2018 and counting.
Yes.
And we are here at the Westfield on Weekend Show. There's lots going on in Westfield this week.
By the way, can I promote something real quick?
Of course. What do you got?
Our good friend Bennett Walsh is going to be doing
Bennett
a
Walsh. I love Bennett.
celebrity bartending event over at the Irish Cultural Center on Thursday at 5:30. And all proceeds are going to benefit the Soldiers Home.
Soldiers Home in Holyoke.
Yes.
Yeah.
So come on over for dinner and have a few drinks and make sure you tip generously.
You know my connection with Bennett Walsh?
I do. Through his mom?
Yeah, well, his mom, Katery,
dad.
and his dad, Dan. But I tutored his brother.
Which one? Dan?
Dan. I tutored Dan when he was a young kid.
Yep.
In mathematics. Now, I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
I grew up with Bennett and Chris.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, the younger of the set.
There are 14,000 kids in that family. So
I think there's seven.
Yeah.
Six or seven.
Yeah. Well, I just love that. The Katery Walsh is the city councilor in Westfield. I'm not in Westfield.
Springfield.
In Springfield. She's been there forever. We are old friends. And Dan Walsh used to have
Veteran Services.
Veteran Services.
I think he was a counselor for a while, too.
Yeah, I think so. But his son owns this. So it's at Sons of Aaron. Where?
No, it's at the Irish Cultural Center.
Irish Cultural Center, where Bo
Sullivan will be calling you going, get it right, Bob.
Oh, my God. Bo Sullivan is actually the executive director, our good friend Bo Sullivan. At any rate, enough of that chit-chat.
Jay's over there about to drop his head into his keyboard.
As anybody listening out there, their head is just spinning, going, "What did he just say?"
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's too early.
I'm not really.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not really cycling, as they call it. That's a therapeutic word when you go from one topic to one topic today.
It's called hitting tall fields,
Being a
Bob.
little frenetic.
Frenetic, but I'm not really that way.
Depends on your acronym.
It's frantic.
Yeah. It's free association, but we can't free associate because you're back from your holiday, my friend.
That's true.
Yeah.
Back refreshed.
And I asked if you were jet lagged, and you're not because you were in Algonquin.
I drove 2.5 hours. Yeah, it was not a big deal.
Yeah. And we were talking in the break about the idea of a relaxing vacation for you.
So a relaxing vacation for me has, I guess I like beach time. It doesn't have to be by the beach as long as it's somewhere where there's something nice outdoors. It doesn't even have to be water, but like the woods, like some kind of nature element. And I like to sit in it and just read.
Yeah, that's my
Did not
idea
get a
of a
lot
good
of reading
vacation.
done on this vacation, so that's how I know I didn't relax, because that's my thing. I get more reading done in a normal day at home than I did on this vacation.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I'm not like I went with my family to Disney, and you're go, and I was like, this isn't a vacation.
You're exhausted when you get home. You need a vacation from your vacation.
Because you know how much money you're throwing into it, and he's I damn well better be busy the whole thing.
Right? We're going to enjoy
It's not
everything
even that.
this place
It's
has
just-
to offer.
There's so much to do. You just want to do
You're
it.
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here. In fact, I think once I went to Disney for 2 weeks, and it was too long. I got burned
I
out.
was just going to say,
Disneyed out.
I wouldn't survive it, because I would feel exactly like Pete just said, like you have to do everything every day. There's an itinerary. Like there's no sitting by the pool if you're at Disney. There's you
And
gotta
the
go.
best-
yeah.
The best time to go to Disney, I keep saying this, is Thanksgiving week. Because the first half of the week, it's regular Disney. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's Christmas. They
And what's
transform the park.
amazing, and
Oh,
I've
one
gotta-
day.
yeah, and I've got we stayed at Wilderness Lodge, and magically overnight. It turned into Christmas.
They work
And it was,
all night long to
and
transform the park.
There's like, if you've ever been in Wilderness Lodge, the lobby is like 5
Oh, I
stories
love
tall.
that
Yes.
Wilderness Lodge.
And there's a 5-story Christmas tree appeared there.
Yes.
How do they do that? They fly them in
Overnight while you're sleeping.
There's
Yeah.
munchkins that
It's
fly 'em in
amazing
or
what they can
something.
do in a park.
I feel like they do everything secretly at Disney too. It's all behind the scenes.
Well,
You
it
never
is.
see any work happening, but
Well,
everything's
those are
always
those
beautifully
little
clean and-
Cinderella's elves and those little,
little
fairies.
mice,
The
yeah.
little mice are all hard at work. The fairy godmother is.
It's the
is there.
Imagineers.
That's the
Yeah.
Imagineers. We were talking about the restful vacations, and I really believe you can't go to Disney for you don't
No, you
really
can't.
go. You don't really go there for a restful vacation, but you do go to a Gunquit for
Yes,
yeah.
typically yes, and it would have been relaxing. I did not allow myself to relax. Is my problem. I've just been I'm working too much, but it's good because I like my work. So
Well,
that
you
was
love
okay
your
too.
work, but
Yes.
you didn't leave it behind.
I did not. It's almost impossible to when you are relying on yourself exclusively to earn your money.
Yeah, my dad had a small business. You can't shut it off.
Yeah, so
The
you're
business would
always
come home.
thinking and turning wheels. And then with the real estate stuff, you have other people relying on you for a very big decision in their lives, whether they're selling or buying. Even people who are renting are trying to make a move or a change. So
And it's like, what do you mean you're going on vacation?
yeah, I didn't tell anyone. I never tell anyone because
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to answer their call. Or if I don't, it's only going to be for 4 hours and I'll
Yeah, and
return
then
their
you'll
call.
catch
But
up.
yeah, telling someone, and I don't like to make people feel like they can't call because it is an important time. So I don't want to say, oh, Bob, I know that I'm selling your house, but I'm not going to be available by phone for a week. Or I'm going on vacation and now you feel guilty if you have an important question calling me because you don't want to disturb me if you are a considerate person.
I
So
guess
it's-
is that the way in business? I mean, like when you're on
depends on
vacation,
who you
Jay,
are.
that
It
same sort of thing?
depends. In the corporate world, it depends on where you are. But it's there's somewhere between the front lines, the guys on the front line that are really doing the grunt work, that are out in front of the customers. When they go on vacation, they go on vacation. Leave me alone, and I leave them alone. But somewhere between middle management and the CEO can go on vacation
Yeah.
and not worry about it.
Sure.
In the middle, we worry about it every day.
That's what makes the
And-
company go, though.
And
Yeah.
on the other hand, when I went out of the country and I was really disconnected because I couldn't get to the internet, I was stressing for a week.
Will you? Oh my God, I
You know,
love
I
that.
can't-
Oh, I
I can't-
love it.
But they
I
were
love
also
that.
talking about. I just saw an ad, a news article on the Today Show. More and more companies for millennials are allowing them to work from home on Fridays or from wherever. And they profiled the young girl that goes to visit her parents a lot, and she works on Fridays. But her mother said, "Well, she's here, but she's working for 8 hours, and we don't bother her, even
Yeah.
though she's here."
Oh,
And you know, there's people and kids, the millennials, the kids as I call them. They know how to be productive when you're not in an office. 20, 30 years ago, the boss had no way to know, unless you were there in the room, the boss had no way of knowing whether you were being productive or not. On the other hand, 20 or 30 years ago, my job as a tech in the field, I just had to take care of my customers, and I was left to my own, and just did everything. And my boss and I had an understanding. It was like he says, as long as the customers don't call me, and you've got a workload and a half up there, I'm not going to bother you. You're doing your job well.
But when we've got that ability to do the work from home or go on vacation and you take the work with you, where's that separation between and it
doesn't exist anymore,
Is
Bob.
your work your life or your life your work?
Bob,
And-
with the advent of the personal cell phone and all the technology involved with that, you're never completely separated from work. I was in Florida for a month on vacation, but I'm still doing scheduling for Channel 15, scheduling for here, answering emails, occasionally answering phone calls. I never really shut off work, and that's, I used all my vacation time down there And I was still working at night at 10 o'clock when I came back to my hotel room. Still got an hour of work. Or 2 hours of work.
Well,
for
and
this
here's the deal. You know, everybody, that I'm retired. However, you never really know that I'm retired.
You're as busy as you've ever been.
Right.
And yeah,
More
and,
so.
and the volunteer work, for one, is sort of like,
But that's your passion, Bob.
it is my passion. But I think with everyone you have that oh God, I wish I didn't have to think about this. I wish I just could sit on a beach in some far away, distant land.
You could
and
do that,
I'm
Bob.
not going to ever go in the water. I'm just going to sit there with Jessica
As long as you
Martin,
have a hot
and the
spot.
two of us are going to read our books
Yes.
because we are readers. Jessica is involved with an owner of Blue Umbrella Books in downtown Westfield, and which we haven't mentioned once today. But we're going to
knows
sit
where-
there and we're
she
going to
does.
read. I don't know how to shut it off. I don't know. I mean, tell me how to do that.
You
So
don't.
I'll tell you, I have a theory on this too. Is people who hate their work have an easier time unplugging. So when you actually are passionate about what you're doing, it's great because you enjoy getting up and you have a purpose and you like doing whatever the work it is, whether it's your volunteer work or the bookshop or Jay's work. You immerse yourself in it. You enjoy doing it. You have a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. When you go to a job that you hate, you're just looking forward to your vacation. So I think it's
Looking
easier
forward to
to
the
punch out
yeah.
and then just go escape and forget about it because you don't enjoy it and you don't feel connected to it.
And you're sort of like, you count the days or the hours to the weekend, you count the days or the hours to the vacation.
Right.
And I'm thinking, what about all that time in between? I mean, you know.
Yeah, and that's kind of wasted. So I feel
That's
good
called
that
stress,
I'm passionate
Bob.
enough
Yeah.
about my work that it does sort of consume me, and it makes me good at it.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
do you
want
ever
to do a good
you
job.
love it, but do you ever have that moment where you say, enough with the work, enough with, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you have that. I know, Jay. You have that.
Everybody has that.
No.
Everybody has that.
The
You have that,
common-
Peter.
Yeah.
The common one that runs through my head is, I could just be a waitress. I could totally just be a waitress. Like I would love to just work in a restaurant and pour coffee and take my tips home. and then,
I have that same feeling.
Yeah.
Only I couldn't carry the trays any longer. I need
We
to
can
have
get you a
somebody
job
carry
at
the
Dunkin'
tray.
Donuts. We
I
got
think
ins
it
over
would be
there.
great.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I think the resting bee-faced woman would probably have words
She's
about
not there
that.
anymore.
Oh no, she's there. Yeah.
Bob, we need to
She'd
take a
know.
break.
At any rate, hey, I've got to play another in this hour. If the people have tuned in, this is wow. It's Tuesday, the Westfield End Weekend Show. I'm here at WSKB 89.5 on the dial at the Westfield State University campus with these great folks, Jessica Martin from Blue Umbrella Books and Jessica Martin Realty. Is that the name of the company?
That is the name of my website. My company is Exit Above and Beyond Realty. Mm-hmm.
Exit Above and Beyond Realty. Geez, that sounds like death to me.
I think I just thought of my new company name. I just
What
thought
is
of Exit Stage Left.
Oh, that's
That-
hey,
What's that
oh
from?
my God.
What's that from?
What is that?
A young
Go to
Frankenstein.
break and we'll come back.
All right, okay. Everybody
Trivia.
look that one up. Yeah. Hey, it is 7:18 in the morning, and I cannot help but want to play in this hour another Aretha Franklin song. And, you know, she sang everything, and she would always make it her own, regardless of whether it was Dionne Warwick's song or her song. And I like Dionne Warwick a lot, and I love her music, and I love the music of Burt Bacharach, which is not your typical Detroit-sounding music. But listen to what she does. Of course, you know this song, I Say a Little Prayer. What Aretha does with I Say a Little Prayer is way beyond what Dionne Warwick did, and God rest her soul, Aretha Franklin.
Wondering
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
He rules the roost on Thursday from 6 till 10. It's Patrick Berry.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. It's, what day is it? August
21st.
August
8/21.
21st. Thank you. And where are we, Jessica?
We are at WSKB.
Yeah, 89.5 on the dial, and that's
Heavens to
Jessica Martin.
Murgatroyd.
Yeah. Jessica Martin.
Stage left.
Yeah, exit stage left. That's
Now,
gonna,
where's that from?
well, you told I know.
Hanna-Barbera.
Off air we talked about it, but we got Hanna-Barbera 60s cartoons on Saturday morning. That was Snagglepuss.
Snagglepuss.
Yep.
What's his thing?
Looks like
the
Pink
star?
Panther, but is not.
Well, he was more orange in the graphic that I put up on the computer
He
screen.
looked a little pink.
He looked a little pink, but he wasn't Pink Panther.
Well, he had been drinking.
Yeah, that was it. But Heavens to Murgatroyd was actually, that line was spoken by Bert Lahr. Now, who's Bert Lahr?
Oh, I got
What was it? What character, famous character from the late 1930s, classic movie?
Well, of course I know. I'm not going to tell you
Had
because
to do
you know I
had
know.
to do with a witch.
I don't know.
Oh, come on. Oh, no.
And there was the Scarecrow and
Oh, the Wizard
Tin
of
Man.
Oz.
Yeah, well,
Right.
who was he in
Okay.
this character? Who was he in
Is he
the...
the Tin Man?
No.
He's the Wizard of Oz.
No.
I don't know.
He played the Cowardly
The
Lion.
lion, okay.
Yeah,
The
Bert
Cowardly
Lahr was the
Lion.
Cowardly
Sorry.
Lion, and that's roughly what Snagglepuss.
Oh, yeah, now that you said it.
based
Same
on.
voice. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it
And
now.
the voice was kind of like you were lisping, but you were throwing spit everywhere, didn't it? I mean, like it had a lot of wetness.
No,
to it.
that was Daffy Duck.
Oh, yeah, I can't.
Which was Warner Brothers, and it's a whole different
Was
genre.
Snagglepuss the star of the show?
Yeah, Snagglepuss.
No, it wasn't. He wasn't the star.
It was a short that was part of the Yogi Bear show. So there was Yogi Bear.
Oh, okay,
There was a
gotcha.
Yogi Bear show,
Right.
and then there was a Snagglepuss short, and then there was another Yogi Bear show.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it was like a commercial during the Yogi Bear show. Only
Well,
it wasn't
not a commercial.
It wasn't.
or a short.
It was a short.
Or a short. Hey, speaking of shorts.
Oh, I don't know why. I don't want to know
that
where this is
segue.
going.
Where's it going? Come on, hit me.
I'm not going there. We're going.
me.
Speaking of shorts, I just finished reading a great book of short stories.
Okay.
And I have discovered
By
this.
whom?
Colum McCann. And I wondered how to spell or
this
how to
guy.
say his name.
COLLUM?
Well, it's COLUM.
Yeah, that was close.
And MCC, capital CANN. McCann, MCCANN. You have to read this man. He is so great. And I wanted to ask you, Jessica, that short stories, I really kind of like stay away from short
I was
stories.
just going to bring that same question up to you because typically I do not enjoy a collection of short stories as a whole because I want to read the whole book, but I can't read short stories back to back to back because it's too quick of a transition when you finish one, if that makes sense. So I try to take them in smaller bites.
Yeah, but when I read a long book, I've got chapter by chapter by chapter. And I guess I want something fuller for me than a short story. It sort of doesn't leave you. It's sort of like Chinese food.
You're hungry again very quickly.
that's
Your
your hungry.
analogy, I'm just trying to figure out. Yes, isn't it?
No, you read it, and then unless it's a really standout short story
You're
that
not
you
satisfied.
it's exactly
But those
right.
of us with short attention spans, that was the only reason I could handle a book. And short stories, science fiction. Isaac Asimov was
Oh, sure.
wonderful for that kind of a thing.
Oh yeah, know who else? Kurt Vonnegut's short stories.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, in
yeah.
the 60s, that's what got me reading, and that's what I fell in love with the science fiction because of those short stories. And a lot of Twilight Zone stories were based on those.
Sure,
So-
sure, absolutely. And I read this book. It is the last book that Colin McCann wrote. And it is, oh my God! Now I've got to think about the name of the book. I've got to come up with it. I got to go online and come up with it.
Give it a Google if need be. Yeah.
But Colin McCann for me is one of those writers who I wanted to read all of it. Everything he's written because of this. And I went to the short story book, and what I found was that if a writer is good, a really great writer can hold your attention for 4 pages
Yeah.
and really make a statement in 4 to 10 or 12 pages, and really make a statement, an unbelievable statement in that amount of time. And I found that Colin McCann, and now suddenly, I never knew this guy until I read Let the Great World Spin. That's his book about the World Trade Center, and it's a novel that takes place on the day that Philip Petit crosses the World Trade Center on a wire. And it's so wonderful. And I found that you have 2 versions of that down at your store just this week.
Come pick it up.
Yeah, and then we displayed it down there. Went in, Russell said, well, we got to display this because you're going to talk about it. Let the Great World Spin. But also, I found Song Dogs at your store as well. And Song Dogs is one of his early novels, and it takes place. What I love about Colin McCann, Jessica, is every one of his books has a different setting. Every one of his books has a different focus. He is able to make folks. He's able to write great females and have a great female voice, even though he is a lusty and a dusty. He's sort of like you, Jay.
Rusty.
Yeah.
Rusty.
No, but he is this rugby player from Ireland who now lives in New York City.
Okay.
And Song Dogs is book about the folks who live in the underground in New York City.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
In
the tunnels?
the tunnels and
Yeah.
everything. Oh, my
That's
God.
such a creepy and interesting subject.
Homeless people.
Yeah.
Okay? His book on called Dancer, and here's this straight guy giving the life story of Rudolf Nureyev, told from the vantage point of other people in his life. And a few chapters where he is actually the narrator as well. Oh my God, Dancer, a great read. Now, I am right now reading Zoli, and Zoli is based on a gypsy, the great gypsy poet Pashushka. And it is about the gypsies, the Romania. Gypsies in Italy, gypsies in Europe are from Romania. And this is the story of this gypsy poet who doesn't want fame or whatever, and he tells the story of how gypsies are treated and mistreated in life, and what they're outsiders in life.
Gypsies were considered second or third class citizens in Europe.
And many people don't know this, but Adolf
That's why
Hitler,
I'm really good at trivia now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Adolf Hitler had as many gypsies not as many, but Jewish people and gypsies were rounded up and put
because
into
they were
camps.
considered like cattle.
Oh my God! And so you learn about this book, and I am just so in love with Colin McCann. I'm infatuated with him. I can't
Easy,
put
Bob.
it down.
That's
I'm
illegal in some
telling you.
states.
Oh, I know it. Colin McCann, COLUM. McCann, and he's a writer, Jessica, that I can't stop reading.
Do you
It's good when you
think
find something like that.
out of all of his books, there would be one that was better for discussion? Because maybe we can get you on the board to do a guest host book discussion
I
in
think.
the fall, and you could pick one of his books, but it has to be a good discussion point book.
Oh, every one of his books are
okay.
discussion point. But I'd like a book that people could read in a short period of time. And perhaps the short stories, but I think this Song Dogs is only 210 pages. That's a really short
book, yeah.
212. I lied. 212 pages worth of, and you discover what the homeless folks in New York City are like, and that they're really people. They're really, unbelievable. And I can't say enough about Colin McCann. Do you have a writer like that?
You know who my writer like that is.
Yeah, but his books are like so long.
That sends Bob into a tizzy, though.
They're very long, and that's what I was going to say. I hate to bring everything back to Stephen King, but his short stories are longer than an average short story, but I do really like them because I really like his
There are
writing
short
style.
stories?
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
a lot of collections of short stories. You won't recognize them because they're this big, just like everything
It's not
else that he
fully
writes.
formed.
But
Yeah,
it's,
fully formed books.
But there's several collections of short stories which are very good, and I would highly recommend people who think that they don't like Stephen King read short stories by him, because that's where, like, the movie Stand By Me and Shawshank Redemption, those are two fantastic
Wait a minute.
adaptations.
Shawshank Redemption was 4 hours long. It was a huge, long movie.
It was.
From a short story?
Based on a short story by Stephen King, yeah.
No, that short story, did they change the movie from the... No?
It's almost exactly identical. And that's why books don't translate to film as well as readers would like. Readers are always complaining that their favorite book didn't turn out on screen as they would like, because when a book is this big, you cannot condense it into 2 hours.
Not only that, but a writer can give you more visual images in your head than you
Yeah.
can actually show on a screen.
Yeah.
Now, the only Stephen King, and again, Stephen King, people are they're afraid of it because it's because of the amount of reading.
The size, yeah.
The Stand was the first book I ever
We
picked up.
just discussed that at the bookshop. That was last month.
And the first chapter freaked me out so much that I had to finish it. So then I couldn't wait for the film or series of films to come out, and it was fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
It really was. They treated that pretty well.
They did a good job too, because they didn't try to cram it into 2 hours. It was a multiple part mini series when it originally aired, and they did get a lot of good stuff in there.
The Stand, now that's a long book.
Very long.
And so they had a mini-series.
Yes.
Right? Now, okay. So now
parts,
there's a mini-series called Castle Rock
Ah, so good.
on Hulu.
So good.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing I've seen on television
Wait
in a long
minute.
time.
So tell everybody about it, because you could.
So-
I thought that was the Muppets, and that's Fraggle Rock.
Oh, but
Fraggle Rock.
Also fantastic.
Yes,
program.
I love the Muppets. I'm a huge Muppet fan.
Castle Rock is a film company as
yes,
well.
and
But
we
Castle, what is
so
this?
we can tie this all back into the bookshop too, because one of our Stephen King readers and club members made it onto Castle Rock as an extra. They filmed the show
No,
right in
no
Orange,
kidding.
Massachusetts.
Oh, Orange, man, really?
And I signed up every day to be an extra, and they never picked me. But they did pick our friend Tom Deedy, who's an author who's in our Stephen King club, and hopefully he made the cut. But he's going to play a cop on the show, so we're all excited to see his cameo.
Yeah.
But it's a J.J. Abrams, who's
Oh my God,
fantastic, and
yes.
Stephen King, and it's Stephen King's universe, but it's not based on anything specific. So there's lots of Easter eggs for Stephen King fans and tie-ins, like there's mentions of Cujo and the Dead Zone and all kinds of stuff, all happening in this fictional Maine town, Castle Rock. So there's all these Stephen King elements, but even if you haven't been a Stephen King fan, you can really enjoy the show if you like a creepy, really interesting show a la Lost. Like, something's going on, but you're not quite sure what it is. It's mysterious.
and you
It
don't
keeps
have
you
to know
hooked.
the books in order to even know the references.
No, because it's not based on anything. And, when they reference the crazy rabbit a dog attack, if you've never read Cujo or don't like Stephen King, you might not know. But if if you do, it's exciting because you're like, oh, I know they're talking about Cujo. And if you don't, you can still enjoy the program.
Now, does Stephen King have anything at all to do with the show?
Oh yeah, the whole show. It's him and J.J. Abrams did the whole
Oh,
thing
they're
together.
working together.
Yeah,
Oh,
fantastic.
so maybe he might write a script or two for the show.
I don't know how much writing he did, and I know the show's all the way down. I'm trying to figure out if, and I could probably just Google this, but if it's one arc, if it's going to be over at the end, because I love a series when you know you're getting the end at the end. So I'm hoping it's like maybe like if anyone's seen American Horror Story, I love that they use the same cast every season.
Oh, yes.
But it's a different set of strange events, but it's usually really visually stimulating, scary, and really well acted because they have a good cast. But then the next season you get something completely different, and it's start to finish every season. So there's no end of season cliffhanger where you have to wait 8 months for the next season to come out, or whatever.
You want it to be a full arc, a full beginning, middle, and an end.
I like that. Like when I'm reading a book, I don't dig on series that much. You know, I want to just read a book and then read another book. I don't want to have to continue. So.
Yeah. You want an end finally.
Yes.
Or otherwise, you're kind of like left hanging there, and you're going, what?
I don't
the
even
heck?
mind an open ending as long as I know it's the end. I can ponder an open ending.
Really?
But then don't come back and say, "Oh, guess what? We changed our minds and now this character's alive." And
but
we're gonna do this.
they just did this.
You got to do the cliffhanger thing. See,
Okay.
I'm a fan of
You like the
cliffhangers.
cliffhanger?
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you this: that they did The Handmaid's Tale. Okay, by
Yes.
Margaret Atwood, an incredible novel.
Yep.
Okay, Hulu again. Another Hulu. Who knew that
Hulu's making some good adaptations.
Set adaptations. You got to buy Hulu. Apparently,
Yep.
I just did, and I still can't figure it out. But I managed to get the second season of The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Now they completed the novel.
Yep.
Okay, and it was so popular that
It's a good series.
Oh my God!
They made
So
Now
they
people
made
are
a
writing
season
based on-
2,
yeah.
which is way beyond the book. It's sort of like what they're going to do with probably Game of Thrones.
Yeah, 'cause that book's never coming out, right? That's just not gonna happen.
So they stopped that, and they wrote an entirely new season, 13 episodes. So compelling, so well written,
Yep.
so within the universe of Margaret Atwood's book that I can't stop watching. And I thought I was going to finish last night. I thought it was a regular 8 series. Okay, we're on episode 7. I'm going, oh, we got only one more. Turns out there are 13. 13, and I
watched about half of season 1 because I got turned on to buy with
okay,
friends.
so you got it. There are
No
other
spoilers.
Oh my God, so wonderful! I would recommend. So everybody, I'm not going. It's not a call to action, but they're on Hulu.
You can watch
They're
them
on Hulu. And at any rate, hey, you know who else died this week besides Aretha Franklin? And she didn't get much play. Was another great singer, a jazz singer by the name of Morgana King. If you're a movie buff, do you know who Morgana King played? Who she was somebody's wife in a very famous trilogy.
Something to do with
She was-
Merlin and
No, it's a trilogy that is
Morgana was a character
Morgan
in-
Le Fay. You're
Well, she
talking
was
about.
I'm going back to the King Arthur.
You're right. Yeah. Morgan Le Fay was the woman who is the bastard. Modred was married. Was the son of
those
the
are the
bad
characters.
Modred was the man. But no, Morgana King is totally different. But what? Here I'm going.
All right, never mind.
I'll give you the first 3 notes of this movie. Dun dum dum dum. Dun 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 dun.
That's
Name
that's
that
more than
tune.
3.
Okay, here I'm gonna go. Dun 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 dun. Dum
It's
dum
not
dum
helping me.
dum 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 dum.
Just tell us, Bob.
No, here it is. This will give it to you. Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. Dee dee dee
It's the love theme for
dum.
the
All right, let's
Godfather.
go.
It's
Come
the
on.
love theme from The Godfather. She played Marlon Brando's wife in The Godfather.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah, Morgana King. This was her first and only
All
acting
right.
role, as far as I know. And she died this week. And she had a distinctive voice. She could sing anything. And this is actually this live song that we're going to hear. There it is. There we are. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So she's the large woman in the in the Morgana King, and she was perfect as a wife. for Marlon Brando, but Morgana had a voice. And Morgana's voice, not unlike the voice of Aretha Franklin, could go from low to high and so distinctive. And she didn't get much airplay this week, so I figured I'd play a Morgana King song. And I found her on a tribute to Billie Holiday with such great people as Esther Phillips, Nina Simone, and so she's on this special, and she sings As Time Goes By, the song. Do you know where As Time Goes By? What famous movie was As Time Goes By from?
I have no idea.
If you can play it for her, you can play it for me, Sam.
Okay.
If you can play it, what movie? That was a terrible.
They never said play it again, Sam, in the movie.
They never said. What movie was that?
Damned if I know.
Oh, man. Casablanca. And as time goes by.
If you've never seen that movie, see it. That's all I'll say. It's a cliche, and it's full of them, but it's worth seeing because it's really a darn good movie.
Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. If you can play it for her, Sam, you can play it for me. So here is Morgana King. The rest in peace, Morgana. I'm giving you your day like Aretha's, and join with Aretha in heaven and sing songs forever.
You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you. Hey babe, on that you know you can rely. No matter what the future brings, as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs, they're never out of date. Hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. Woman needs a man, and man must have his mate. That no one can rely or deny. It's still the same old story, just a fight for love and glory. Ooh, kiss of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs, never out of date. Hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. Yes, woman, man, and man must have faith that no one can deny. Still the same old story, just a fight for love and glory. Okay, yes, no do or die. Oh, the world will always welcome lovers. As time, yes, time.
We'll be right back with Carmen McRae, Nina Simone, and Esther Phillips.
WSKB's programming is generously underwritten by Whip City Fiber, Westfield Gas and Electric, where they offer gigabit internet speed. Whip City Fiber, turning Westfield's neighborhoods into fiber hoods. on the web at whipcityfiber.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Underwriting for community radio is provided by the YMCA of Greater Westfield. Every day, the YMCA strengthens the community through programs and services focused on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. For all the Y's many programs and services, visit us on the web at www.westfieldymca.org. The YMCA, 67 Court Street in downtown Westfield. We're more than a gym. We're a cause. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow. Yeah. I started to say that. I was trying to hold off, and Peter, you didn't give me a finger there. The right finger.
Oh.
Yeah. Table for one?
Table for one. Yeah.
See, now, the last break you came out of, and you go, wow, it's Tuesday. What day is it?
Yeah.
I said, Bob, listen to what you're saying.
This is going way downhill,
All
but
right,
we
so
are having we're having a great time. Yes, yeah. Go ahead.
Don't forget this weekend. Come on downtown. So we love to talk about things that are going on downtown, events, music, fun, frolicking, and all of that.
Right.
As the Westfield Rotary's Food Fest is happening Friday evening and Saturday afternoon and evening.
Rain or shine.
Rain or shine. But it's going to be
lots of
shine.
Oh, wonderful shine.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend.
Yeah, and there's a Tom Petty band playing at noon
on Saturday. Come on, you got to check this out. These guys are supposed to be phenomenal, and one of them is an old friend of mine. So I'm really looking forward to hearing these folks. What?
We're getting lucky?
Lucky? No, they're losers.
Oh, they're called the Losers.
Tom Petty.
They're called the
Tom
Losers.
Petty, the Losers. Hey, and also we got to say that Artworks Friday night, I think at the next to Mina's Wine and Spirits.
They're still doing their show.
They are doing their show,
right.
and it's going to be, that's Downtown Live from Artworks, and that's on Friday night. So there's plenty of stuff, and you can eat your way down Elm Street.
We have a kids event at the bookshop too on Saturday. So if you're down with the kids,
cool.
there's going to be a kids offer in the shop from noon to 2.
Oh, really?
So Krista, forgive me pronunciation here, Krista Oscalillo. Oscalillo is her last name? Oscalillo.
Could that be Vic Oscalillo's daughter? Oscalillo?
Entirely possible.
Because Vic is a former, who died unfortunately last year, a wonderful professor, well known and well loved here in criminal justice. That possibly is his daughter. I got to go down and find out.
It's a unique name, but yeah, she'll be in the shop. She's got a picture book, Roxy and Barry's Bar Harbor Adventures.
Ooh.
And it's main characters are Labradors, and 1 or 2 of them will also be with her in the shop. So come by and pet a dog.
For the record, it's Bahaba.
Bahaba. Hey, Jackie and Butch Wheeler have got to go down there. They're my friends, and they go to Bar Harbor all the time. If you vacation in Bar Harbor, that's a perfect book, I suppose.
Yeah. And if you like dogs, they'll be in the shop. Come by and pet them and bring your kids.
A Labrador, 2 Labrador retrievers?
Yep.
In that little shop.
Black Labs. Yep.
Black Labs. Should I bring Frankie down?
I feel like Frankie is a very social dog. So if these dogs are going out to the bookshop, they've got to be social too, right? So they'll be fast friends.
Okay. Hey, and here's some great surprise. See, here's the first time I mentioned this from the bookstore. We're planning Pumpkin Fest, and guess what? And at the bookstore on Saturday, October 13th, during the day, during your open hours, it's going to be the Haunted Bookstore Alley.
Ooh,
Haunted Bookstore Alley. And if you've ever been behind your store, there is an alleyway that actually looks like London back there. and it's going to be and
Diagon
Russell and
Alley.
Joyce
So
and
everyone
company.
says that, yep.
We're going to make it into a haunted walk for people. So the haunted bookstore. Doesn't that sound like fun?
So fun.
Yeah.
Yep, I
So
can't wait
put
for
that on your calendar. Pumpkin Fest on what the heck date is it?
Joyce and Russell
Saturday,
are-
October 13th.
Joyce and Russell are
Westfield on
both
weekends.
famous for their Halloween decorations
That they
too.
are.
Joyce does an actual Halloween haunted house on Halloween night every year for I can't even tell you how long.
At her home?
At her sister's home in Suffield, Connecticut. So she is an old pro at that. They do such a good job. They do such a good job decorating the shop anyway. But
Oh, man.
I expect this to be really good.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it's going to be. So you're going to walk through the shop. You can enter from. You can smoke both ends, as we used to say about camels. What? That was a what?
Nothing.
Or was it Chesterfield? I don't know. Well, yeah. Ken Stomsky has entered the studio. but
Tomorrow on Wake Up Wednesday with Tina Gorman.
oh God.
We're going to go in the first hour. Family Fun Month is going to be celebrated. It's August Family Fun Month, and they'll be talking all about famous birthdays and upcoming events in Westfield. And Tina's second guest hour.
Oh,
Or
Mary
Tina's
Lou.
Second hour
Tina's
guest.
in her second hour. See, now you got me doing this, Bob. It's going to be Mary Lou Najowski from. She's the director of Westfield Council on Aging.
Yeah,
she's the
now wait a
program
minute.
director.
Okay, so Tina's got to tell us sooner or later. Didn't we talk about this in a couple of weeks ago? Maybe when you were on. But the idea of aging, the word aging is not good. We're not supposed to say
We're
that
not
a
supposed to
person
say
is
aging?
aging or elderly or what. Peter,
Is it ageist? What are we supposed to? What are we supposed to
it's
say?
the Council on Aging.
No, I know it. You're not supposed to use the word aging.
Bob, why don't you call in and
Then
find
what
out?
are we doing?
I would rather think that I'm
A
experienced.
senior and citizen are
Council
no
on
longer. You're not supposed to be a
Gaining
senior
Life
citizen.
Experience.
We're supposed to be
Bob,
elders. No, older
Tina,
citizens.
will you call in and set them straight?
I gotta. There's
We
something
covered
in
this last
political
week.
about
I
that.
know.
I think we can
no.
say aging.
I'm
elderly and senior.
Are not allowed any
Right.
longer.
It's older adult.
There we are.
Older
okay,
adult.
so the Council of Older
I'm
Adults.
okay.
is-
Just call me a grumpy old man. I'm good.
oh God. At any rate, hey, so
Do you have your game? Are we doing the game show today?
no, we're not doing the game show because we've had such a great time. Unfortunately,
And time's
we're
up.
going to talk right through the game show because I wanted to ask you for the bookstore is the Blue Umbrella Books. You're at blueumbrella.com or whatever that is. Is that?
Yeah, whatever that
What
is.
is it?
BlueUmbrellaBooks.com.
BlueUmbrellaBooks.com, and we have Facebook and all that stuff. You can connect there. We have Instagram and Twitter and all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
so
you
whichever
said-
one you like.
What are you reading, my friend?
Okay, so I'm struggling through a book of short stories myself that I put aside. We talked about short stories. I feel
Yeah.
like we were doing the same thing because I have an author whose book I liked. I really liked one of his novels. And then I tried a second novel, and I didn't like it quite as much as the first one I read. And then I said, I'll try these short stories, but I'm not really enjoying them. And so it's not out yet. I got an advanced reader copy, and it's called Goblin by Josh Mallerman. And I think that the stories are good. And the book came highly recommended to me by two readers who really have given me really good picks in the past. But it's just... I think because they're short stories, I'll read one and then I'll try to get into something else and then maybe read another one. But I'm just feeling unsatisfied by the short stories.
Gotcha.
I don't think that they're bad. And he's the author of The Bird Box, which is coming out as a movie with Sandra Bullock. And The Bird Box is fantastic.
Really?
So, yeah.
Sure.
So I don't think it's against the author so much as just my aversion to short stories.
Yeah. Well, here it is. Well, you know, we've got Susan Buffum in town, and oh my God, there's a lot of short story writers. Sandy Sessler or Judith Sessler from our town writes short stories, and I think the more short stories to read, the more we're going to get used to it. But I was talking about Colin McCann earlier, and the name of his book, and it's a really wonderful book, and it actually won the National Book Award, or was on the top list this year.
Short list, yeah.
13 Ways of Looking is the name of the book.
13 Ways of Looking. I like the
13
title.
Ways of Looking, and I love this book. James is reading it and is less loving it.
Okay.
But I gotta recommend Colin McCann to you. So you're reading that. What you're having on Saturday? You're having a children's event down there.
Yep.
Yeah. Where's your next vacation?
Next vacation is Disney. We talked about Disney already. We're going to Disney in September.
And what rides are you going on?
Attractions, Jay. They're called attractions.
They're going on.
Do you have a favorite attraction down there?
Excellent question. I really like. It used to be the MGM. What do they call it now? Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
I really like the
Aerosmith
roller coaster.
Yeah,
was
the
fun.
Aerosmith roller coaster is amazing. I love the Tower of Terror, of course. At regular Disney World, all the older roller coasters. Again, the Space Mountain and that type of stuff.
I still like the
Super fun.
American Idol experience in Hollywood Studios. I don't think they still have that. I think it's called something else.
I don't think I've ever done that one.
No,
You have to go in there and become an American Idol.
You can actually
people perform, and you can sit
that's
there as the
fun.
audience and vote.
My favorite is still and always will be the Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion is so fun. I don't know how I didn't think of that first, too. That's so fun.
It's still, as a kid, and you talked about haunted houses. When I was a kid, I would always turn my parents' basement into a haunted house.
Love it.
And now, you think about it, this is way wrong, but I would put cardboard aisles up and down. I says, whoa, there's fire hazard.
Yeah.
But you know, and back in the day, it was just the original dark ride through the basement.
Haunted Mansion is so good, and I think we're going to be there. You guys were talking about transitioning from Thanksgiving to Christmas. I think we're going to be there for the Halloween transition for Mickey's Haunted.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and I have not been, and we like to go in September because typically there are fewer children. Because once everyone goes back to school.
So Haunted Mansion trivia.
Okay.
Right? What is the thing you get into and ride through the
Haunted Mansion
cart?
What's it called?
What do they call those carts? That's
the Scaremobile.
The Doom Buggy.
The Doom Buggy.
Doom Buggy.
I love it.
Doom
Buggy.
Essentially, the haunted mansions in Florida and in California are the same. It's you go through the same pattern of things.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, you go into this room where the room grows and stretches.
The room grows?
Remember that?
Illusion, yes.
Yeah. All right, now there's a difference between the one in California and the one in Florida.
Oh.
In one, the ceiling goes up.
And the other goes down. It
the
shrinks.
floor goes down.
Interesting.
I can't remember which is which, but I
There's also another Haunted Mansion trivia. There's like a ring embedded in the cement outside of the Florida ride, I
Ooh,
think,
that
and
one I
there's like
haven't
some
caught.
sort of mystery around the ring,
ride.
why it's there,
Yeah.
and all this stuff.
Well, that brings me back to Riverside years ago in Agawam.
I loved
Remember
Riverside
Park?
They had a haunted house.
A walkthrough. A
walkthrough.
haunted
Remember?
house.
And in order to get in, it was a barrel, or there was a.
You had to go through the barrel, the spinning barrel.
Spinning barrel.
And now
Yes.
the
Funhouse style.
The platform through was just a walk, little platform,
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
barrel was spinning around you, so you felt like you were falling
Yes.
over. That was so well done.
Yeah. And now that we think about it, can you imagine folks who had been through that haunted house? And it was hardly scary at all. I mean, like as kids, I think it was.
Oh, it was scary.
It was
yeah.
scary, and you would come out in a tunnel of love, kind of. Didn't you come out the tunnel
There
of
was
love?
no
there?
love about that.
No, you came out in a. You got into a car and you came out through a tunnel of love.
8 o'clock at WSKB Westfield.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but I can you imagine going to Disney World now and having that scare ride? They're totally different. They really scare you.
See, now my favorites were when you had, in fact, the carnivals will do this. The Big E carnivals will do this. Is you get the dark rides.
Yes.
You get the
Those
little
are
cart.
my favorite.
This is a little cart, and you get in that. But oftentimes you'd get a character that dressed up as a gorilla or something. And he would be on the outside as it exited, so that all of the people waiting in line would see this. But of course, the people going in, that are already in the line, he'd only come out once in a while, and he'd come out there, and you're all cheering this guy on because he's going to scare the next cart that comes around the corner.
And you love to watch people get scared.
Yep.
Oh man!
So fast forward, or flash back to Many years ago, I was involved in a haunted house in Southwick that was a benefit for some things down there. And in the lobby, it was set up like a hotel lobby that you walked into. And my favorite gag of all times was I dressed up as a gorilla and hid behind the door of the entrance to this little hotel and stood absolutely still. I would just not
this
move.
way, Jay.
Yes, and I would
this is
stand
gonna scare the
absolutely
living
still
daylights out of me.
and wouldn't move. So people would come in, and they'd look and maybe be a little startled, but they'd poke me and they just, oh, he's just a statue there. He's nothing, right? Well, I'd wait for a few people to go in and go through the lobby, and then I would pick one and walk right up behind them after they'd passed me and just stand there silent, dead silent, and wait for them to turn around. The best part about it was everybody in the lobby saw me do it and said nothing.
Oh, my God.
These people would freak, and of course everyone would applaud and have a good... That was my favorite gag of all time.
I love it.
Let's all scare one another.
Yeah.
We've scared our listeners probably for the last 2 hours.
The scare for me is coming up when you start talking about Big Brother. But anyway.
We better talk. Yeah. And speaking of Big Brother, we got to say goodbye to you, Jess. It's always a pleasure to have you in.
Thank you.
BlueUmbrellaBooks.com is one way to reach you, and also JessicaMartinRealty.com.
You got it.
Yeah, you're a great guest. We love having you every month, and your reading has got to be short and sweet.
Yes.
Yes, you'll get back to those short stories.
No, long. The longer, the better.
Yes,
the bigger the book, the
right.
better.
Hey, everybody, you guys, thank you, Jay and Peter, and get out there and volunteer. Hey, I got to play for you. Yeah. The Aretha Franklin tribute that this is from the Kennedy Center Honors of Carole King. You got to Google that because you got to watch Carole King get excited when Aretha Franklin comes out to sing her song, A Natural Woman. I know you probably heard it all weekend, all last week, but you got to hear it again, this version. And the excitement, if you Google or you YouTube this on Carole King's face, the woman who wrote it, is beyond belief. A Natural Woman. God rest your soul, Aretha Franklin. Get out there and volunteer, everybody. I'll see you next week.